Hi, everyone. My name is Doug Holcombe. This is the monthly BCG nonprofit Q&A series. Thank you for tuning in. I'm really excited to have Peter Heller of Heller Fundraising Group on with us today to talk about some of the best practices in fundraising and capital campaigns. Peter, happy holidays. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Doug. It's great to see you again. It's nice to be together in this little bit of lull between the holidays here. It's sort of a lull.
It's a little bit of a lull, but before you know it, it'll be January 2nd and the hustle and bustle will start. So
Yeah, there's only 2 people at my company working this week. The rest, everybody else is away.
there you go. Well deserved. Well deserved. So, Peter, why don't we start? Tell me a little bit about Heller Fundraising Group. I know you've been around for quite some time. People actually tuning into this have probably seen your videos because you're all over YouTube and LinkedIn as well. And you provide a lot of fantastic free content. But just give us a little background on your organization.
Sure. This is actually our 20th year, which I can't believe. It's kind of crazy. I started the company when I left Columbia University after spending 10 years there on the fundraising staff. And we focus on helping nonprofits with capital campaigns, the planning and feasibility studies that lead up to them, developing major gift programs, and really analyzing how to improve development offices.
Yeah, it's amazing. The foray that I've had in the nonprofit world is that you can never raise enough money to fund your programs and to help you live out your mission. Regardless of the size of the nonprofit, fundraising is an essential part of their existence and their ability to be successful, which is why I'm so glad you agreed to come on. So,
absolutely.
First question would be, why would a nonprofit look to partner with an outside consulting company such as yours for fundraising support?
It's a great question. And I just want to say something about what you alluded to about the size of a nonprofit, which is that, like I said, I worked at Columbia University. That's a really wealthy organization. I had 7 people on my team.
Yep.
We still didn't have enough resources, right? So every organization is hungry for resources, no matter the size. And the Heller Fundraising Group, which, by the way, we're officially located in New York City, but we have clients everywhere. There's a team of about 25 of us, including our collaborating consultants and our staff. And, you know, we love to get hired. We're a business. We love working with nonprofits, but we only want to be there if we're actually adding value. And the value that we can add is we've seen hundreds and hundreds of different nonprofits both succeed and fail at increasing their fundraising. And that's led us to understand how to implement the transformative power of fundraising in effective ways. And we're available if the time is right for a nonprofit to do that. We basically, there's 2 things we do, and not in terms of like the dynamics of the like capital campaigns, that sort of thing, but really, what does a consultant do? We advise, and then we also do some doing. So we're bringing an expertise that's often in addition to what the staff and the board leadership has, even if they're really smart at what they do because of what we've seen. And then we can also help them with some of the doing to get there.
Got it. So to distinguish between the consultant part, which, providing a sounding board, advice, feedback on perhaps current practices, but then also actively managing to ensuring that the fundraising and, say, the capital campaign is successful. So you're implementing tools and you're getting your hands dirty in helping them be successful. So you're not sitting down direct.
Yeah, I'll just say one more thing about that because it's a really interesting nuance, is that we like to be careful about how much doing we do, because we believe that if the nonprofit learns the skills, and even if that requires eventually hiring more staff and figuring out how to raise money to do that, or reallocating staff tasks and responsibilities, they're going to be better off if they're doing more of the doing over the long term rather than us doing it and then going away. They're like, oh, wait, how do we keep doing that?
Right.
So we like to add value by technical expertise.
That's great. Yeah. So they walk away and they're self-sufficient, but they're stronger as a result of partnering with your
Yeah, that's basically the idea.
Oh, that's cool. So I'll tell you this: first time we met, you had mentioned Capital Campaign, and I had never really heard of that. Although I understand that some programs require greater resources than others, and some years you need to raise more money than prior years. So tell me, what exactly is a capital campaign?
That's a great question, especially for a capital campaign consultant.
Bit of a softball.
Who you happen to be looking at, right? So at the Heller Fundraising Group, the way we define a capital campaign is money that you want to raise. Well, let me take that back, that you need to raise. If you want to raise it, we're not that interested. You can probably do without it. Money that you need to raise that's above and beyond your annual budget. So that means many times, most times it's for physical plant building renovations or purchase or real estate purchase, in increasing space or improving space. The roof is leaking, that kind of stuff. That's above and beyond your normal operating expenses. And it also can be for a specific increase in programming, or it could be for increasing your endowment. Those are usually the main three buckets that a capital campaign is needed for.
Understood. So if a nonprofit, really, I would say any organization, nonprofit, for-profit, if they want to scale, if they want to grow, obviously they need to increase the resources, their revenue. They have to continue to fund that growth. So that's where a capital campaign will come into play.
Exactly. And there's a very specific structure, that we put together to help make that effective. And the secret about a campaign is if it's done well, you get the money you need, but you've made the organization and your staff and your board and your community and donors, everyone is more, I'd say, strongly knitted together. And that's really exciting.
Interesting. So let's get into a little bit more of a detailed discussion about capital campaigns. What would you say are some key components to ensure that nonprofit's capital campaign is in fact successful?
Okay, I'm going to outline those for you, hopefully succinctly. And I was so excited yesterday. I mean, we said at the beginning we're in this lull, and one of our clients decided they were going to have some campaign solicitation meetings this week. And I got an email yesterday about the success. The key volunteer, who's the president of their board, we had trained him on how to do the solicitations, and he emailed me and my team that, hey, your advice was so great, thanks. We got the $100,000 gift. And I was like, this was like his first solicitation. I was like, holy smokes.
Wow.
And so not only did they get the gift, but it really, like, you could see the excitement from the other volunteers congratulating him. And that's what I'm talking about, how they didn't really believe that this could happen before they started doing it. And now not only are they excited, but they're really energized about their future of their organization and the community. And the things that we find, we have a very specific concept of how to get from here to there in campaign success. And I'm going to just quickly outline what that is. And one of the things that I personally really like about the way that we go about it is that we're not taking a cookie cutter approach and mapping it onto every organization. We make sure that we understand how our ideas are going to meet that organization and customize it so it works for them. And so the approach involves what we call the 6 elements of campaign success, and you can actually read about them on our website if you want to do more inquiry, hellerfundraisinggroup.com. And I'm just going to tick them off, tell you what they are. And I mean, we could talk for a long time about those. And I have,
That'll be
you
our
know,
follow-up Q&A. But
yeah, I have webinars. You can actually go on our website and watch some of the webinars and videos that we've done on it. But in order to get organized for a campaign and then carry out that campaign, here's the 6 things. One is you need a dollar goal. I'm going to count them on my fingers, make sure I don't forget anything. You need a dollar goal. And you need to be clear on what that dollar goal is and the period of time over which you need it and what the uses for it are. You need a case for support, which is basically the story you're going to tell to your donors on why you need that money and how you're going to make your community stronger by virtue of having that money. You also need a committee of volunteers who are going to get involved in doing the fundraising and understanding how you're going to go about it. We often work very closely with that group on, like the guy I mentioned who did the solicitation this week, and training, organizing, where's our prospect list, who's on our prospect list, what, so, and actually that's the next thing, you need a list of potential donors. Obviously without that you're not going to get very far in a campaign. And then you need to understand the staffing and systems that you're going to use in order to implement the campaign. Is it going to be done by actual employees of the organization? Is it going to be entirely volunteer run? Is it going to be a mix of those? How is the campaign going to be staffed? And what systems are you going to do to keep track of things and to make sure that you're not disorganized, because you've got to be organized in an effort like this. And the final thing is, what is the timing for, when are you going to start the actual fundraising? Is there going to be like what a lot of people call a public launch? What period of time are you going to accept pledges? Most people, if the $100,000 donor in this particular situation is paying it all off in calendar year 2024, although he's going to make 4 payments throughout the year. So what's the pledge period? Most often it's a multi-year pledge. How does that fit in with your dollar needs and various things like that? So those are the 6 elements that we work with to help people get organized.
So I can tell you've been celebrating your 20th year here, because you just put that fairly succinctly off complete recall. So clearly,
yeah, it's like if my dad had put a electric guitar in my hand when I was like 12 or something, maybe I would be a rock star. But instead, this is what I do.
Yeah, this is what you do. This is what you're expert in, and I can assure you, folks, there was no teleprompter or rehearsal done. But that's fantastic. So even to the layperson like me, I can pretty easily pick up on what needs to be done. But now, how we accomplish that's where you come into play. So for the nonprofits who are watching this, what's the best way to get in touch with you and to further vet out if partnering with your consulting company would make sense?
Sure. Well, so first of all, Doug, like you, we love getting new business. And at the same time, we get new business by trying to be helpful and getting to know people. So I'm happy to hear from anybody who has any questions about fundraising without, what's that phrase, like no obligation.
No expectation of anything in return.
Yeah. So, and the easiest thing to do is just email me, Peter at hellerfundraisinggroup.com. We can chat.
No unique spellings there. Pretty straightforward, but I'll have it in the comments of this post, which is going to be on LinkedIn. And of course, if you ever need help getting in touch with Peter, you can do it directly or you can do it through me. Again, I'm Doug Holcombe at BCG. We are an employee benefits firm, specializes in nonprofits. And Peter, again, I want to thank you for taking time from your little holiday sabbatical and for providing some expertise on fundraising and capital campaigns.
You got it. Thanks.